Oh, don't nobody want to go to Klingon jail. NERDSoul. LeIllKid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people, today? Oh, yeah, we coming with another wonderful episode of On Screen, and we are continuing, that's right, our enjoyment of Star Trek Discovery. And there's two big things I want to get into, and then we'll, get to what you guys are feeling and thinking. Captain Lorca really opened up for me on this episode. Usually he seemed like that hardcore dude that almost enjoys the fact that other people don't like him. Like, yeah, I'm against all odds all the time. But we get to see him and the Admiral's relationship and how it's almost like she wants him to be like, yo, man, look, you got to rein this stuff in. Like other people are looking at you. Also, the way your ship is operating, people are going to figure it out. They're going to know to look at you. And I think he sees it as a badge of honor. Like, yeah, there's a target on my back. I like it that way. It's an interesting dynamic because they seem to be friends as the conversation goes when they're alone. But it's almost like she wants him to toe the company line. And he's like, no, I want to be the rebel of the fleet. Which is cool and kind of makes sense in a certain degree, but you are a captain that has to take care of other people's lives. And that consideration has to be weighed against at least some of your craziness. But the interesting thing about the whole being in charge of other people's lives comes to play when he's in the Klingon jail talking about, yeah, I blew up my own ship because I knew the fate that awaited them. So I gave them I guess sort of like a easier route or a honorable death or something like that. And that's something that's got to weigh on him, regardless of his outlook or his attitude or his disposition, that's got to weigh on him. Like you could see it in his face that wasn't his proudest moment. And I'm opening up to Lorca a little bit. I still think he's a wild cowboy, and he's way too happy about this whole war thing, and he's definitely a loose cannon, but I can see kind of why he acts the way he does, and I like how we're starting to get these little pieces, especially with the I guess the discussion between him and the Admiral. I'd like to see some more of that because that just really illuminated a lot of his character for me, and I really enjoyed it. Now, with Michael, she was right about the whole thing with Ripper, and I felt bad about Ripper, especially when he finally kind of like went into, I guess, hibernation or shriveled up and everything. It just felt bad because she had been saying like, yo, I think we're hurting him. But unfortunately with, Captain Lorca gone, Saru was not hearing it. Like unfortunately, Saru is between a rock and a hard place. Like he wants to be right all the time. He's kind of got that attitude, but at the same time, he's not ready. But he also has a deal or an issue with Michael. He has an issue with, he just doesn't like her. And it's revealed that he was just jealous of her the whole time. But jealousy and also what she did, with the mutiny, you mix all that together and you can come up with an attitude and an atmosphere and a characteristic of hatred. You could also be very, very dismissive to the point where you put people in danger, which is what he did. Because like once they made that jump, and I was thinking about it, I was like, yo, what if they make this jump? What if, Ripper dies in the middle of a jump? What would happen? Or what if he dies after the jump? They'll be stuck, and of course that's exactly what happened. They make the jump. Ripper didn't die. He kind of like went into his hibernation state, but Saru was sitting there looking stupid. And it's like, dude, we told you. And I think you take that with the idea about the Starfleet where the young gentleman, I can't remember his name. Guys, just throw it in the comments for me. But the guy in jail that was talking about Federation Starfleet and how they kind of started the war the second they went out into space. And he brings up this idea of exploration or arrogance. And that's interesting. I want to pose this, guys, to you. Do you think this is more exploration, or do you think this is more arrogance? I mean, for the Starfleet in general, do you think this is like, oh, we're just seeking out new worlds? Some people don't want to be seeked out or sought out. You know, whatever. They don't want to be found. Some people want to be left alone. And you going around poking a stick at everything, you can't be mad if someone wants to poke back. And I mean, the Klingons were probably out there in space, kicking it, chilling, doing a Klingon thing. And here you come with your little ships and shooting stuff and poking around and want to take readings. So there could be a very valid argument in there that, you know, maybe you and we're going to explore, you know, kind of, you know, spits on a couple graves out there. So I'm interested to see what you guys think about that. But further on, the whole atmosphere of the jail was very interesting as how they played the prisoners against each other. I like that. Well, I mean, it was bad for the prisoners, but I like that as a characteristic trait of the Klingons. I'm not for people getting curb stomped in the middle of jail. But I will say that I was wrong in thinking that the other Starfleet officer was the snitch. Because when he got in jail, I was like, one of them dudes is a snitch. But I was wrong. It wasn't the officer. It was the crazy dude that had the little chip on I don't know, it was a cockroach or something, whatever it was. It was a big, smart cockroach who was able to steal food for his best homie or something. Anyway, regardless, the point is, inside of that situation, we get to find out that kind of the prison colony is very similar to the I guess just subjugation in general. You know, you have someone in power, have this horrible jail, they're giving you like one cookie for a meal, and that's all you got. And they're playing you guys against each other, they're killing people in front of each other. It's a very horrible scene. It's horrifying in general, and the only reason that one Starfleet officer was alive is because old girl had human fever. So you have to kind of like figure out why they're like that towards humans, and maybe it's because humans, or maybe Starfleet did something even further back that we don't know about, that Klingons are just like, yo, we're not into that, on top of being a warrior race, like on top of being like the Mandalorians of Star Trek. People gonna hate that, but on top of being like the warrior race, and they don't like humans, you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to see how they treat humans. I wonder if they would treat Klingon, you know, prisoners differently. But we did see in the flashback with T'Kuvma that they were beating him up pretty bad when he was little, so maybe not. But the prison break is what kind of it interested me when we saw the power of the guns the Klingons were using. Like, they were not playing. Like, them joints was like just straight dissolving cats, you know what I'm saying? And I like the fact that we set up a long-term villain, because they burned old girl face and she's not gonna forget about that. So all in all, we have an episode where we learned a lot. We got to send Ripper off to, you know, a journey to be on his own. We got to see the you know, the test go on with the engineer, and him use it himself as a way to jump through with the spore drive. And we're gonna see how that plays out, because you know, you saw the mirror thing, so we'll see what happens there. But we got a lot of good information. We got to see what Lorca is really like, and we got to see what Lorca's deal is. And we got to see how Saru was able to reconcile sort of his issues with Michael. So guys, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you. Down in the comments, let me know what you thought about Star Trek Discovery. Of course, this episode 5, I'm into it. I really think that we set up 2 long-term villains in this, with the warden, or I guess she's a warden, the warden, and the weird guy who might be a Q-type character in the future. So before I bounce, I gotta tell you guys to hit up thatnerdsoul.com. That's right, check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.thatnerdsoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt, player, and don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right. There's no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. And of course, LA, what up? V, what up? REA, you got my heart. So please be good to yourself. Please be good to each other. And never, ever fall for the curb stomp trick. Never. Poor Klingons. Peace.
Always rugged and tough.